God bless you, boys and girls. I hope you're home, staying busy with your family, making lots of projects and fun things and doing your homework. Today, I want to share with you a Bible story. And our Bible story is found in the book of Exodus. Exodus chapter 1 and chapter 2, verse 1 through 10. This is a story that is pretty long, so I am going to teach you the story in 3 different parts. And for today, we're going to start with Moses. We will be talking about Moses, but for today, we're going to be talking about baby Moses when he was a baby. So, in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, it starts telling us a little bit of the background. Every story has a setting. So, this story takes place in Egypt. And Egypt was ruled by a pharaoh, which is a king. And so there were Hebrews living in Egypt at this time. And this is Pharaoh. So Pharaoh ruled Egypt. He was the king. And he saw that the Hebrews had grown in many numbers. So it wasn't just a little crowd anymore that arrived to Egypt a long time before he was Pharaoh. But now it wasn't like an army of Hebrews. The people had populated a lot. And the men were very strong. And the women were very strong too. And these Hebrew women were having lots of babies. And they were very blessed. And the one that blessed them was God, because God was with them. And so that kind of started getting Pharaoh a little anxious and a little worried, saying, wow, you know what? We have to be careful, because if we don't do something about this, these Hebrew people might just take over Egypt. And so Pharaoh was scared. Yeah, he was scared that this Egyptian people could be overpowered by the Hebrew people. So he said, I have to do something. And with his authority as Pharaoh, he came up with a really, really bad idea to try to control the Hebrews. And his idea was that they were going to gather all the Hebrews and make them slaves. So slaves is someone who has to work really, really hard with no pay. So that's what Pharaoh did. He turned the Hebrew people into slaves. He made them work hard hours, hard work, and he made them work as in the field workers for their crops, and he made them work making bricks. Can you see this Hebrew man's feet full of mud? Because they would have to make the bricks to make all these pyramids, the city for the pharaohs, and they were really bad to them. They made them work really hard, long hours, hard work, and they're in a desert, so it's really hot. So you can see that he's sweating and he doesn't look very happy. I wouldn't be happy. You wouldn't be happy. No one would be happy. So then the Hebrew people suffered. They were very, very sad, and they cried out to God. And they were like, God, help us. We can't do this anymore. Why is Pharaoh doing this to us? And this went on for a while, boys and girls. And what happened was that one day, Pharaoh had even a worse idea. Worse than making them slaves. Because even though they were slaves, they were still growing in numbers. There were still more and more and more Hebrew men and women. So Pharaoh said, I have to do something even worse, because this is not working. So Pharaoh had an awful, horrendous idea. And he said, it is my command as Pharaoh that all the boys, all Hebrew boys that are born should be hurt. And that's what happened. So he declared it, and then the whole land had to obey. All baby boys that were born had to be hurt. Only the girls Hebrew girls would be allowed to live. All the Hebrew boys had to die. So let's see what happens after this, boys and girls. With that, boys and girls, we'll move on to the second part of our story. So in Egypt, there was a Hebrew woman by the name of Jochebed. Jochebed, she was Hebrew. She believed in God. She loved God very much. And she said, I am not going to obey what Pharaoh has said. And I will not let anyone hurt my baby. I love my baby and I won't let no one hurt my baby. So I will do my best and keep my baby safe away from Pharaoh's soldiers so they can't hurt my baby. So Jochebed, she hid her baby. She would hide her baby. For 3 months, she hid her baby. She tried to keep him quiet so the soldiers couldn't hear the baby cry. And she would hide the baby like nothing was going on. When the soldiers would come to the windows looking to see if there was anyone there that they had to take, she hid her baby. She kept him safe and quiet for 3 long months. You know how hard that is? Keeping a baby quiet for 3 months, making sure no one knows he's there. So she loved her baby. So she took care of her baby and she kept him secretly hidden for 3 months. But then came a day that her baby was big, already 3 months old, and she couldn't hide him anymore. This made Jochebed really, really sad. So Jochebed had to go out of her home and she made a basket. She weaved the basket and she put some trays inside of it. She made sure the water wouldn't come in. And the moment had came. She couldn't take care of her baby anymore. So she made the basket and she laid her baby in the basket. And sad, broken-hearted Jochebed, but she trusted in God and she did everything a mother could do. She took care of her baby, and now she took her baby to the Nile River. And she trusted God, and she did this to save her baby so Pharaoh's soldiers wouldn't come and kill her baby. So she had to take her baby to the river and let him go to the river. She put him by some plants and she had to say goodbye. I forgot to mention one thing, very important, that Jochebed also had a daughter named Miriam. And Miriam was older than the baby. And she was there when her mother put the baby in the Nile River. Miriam hid by the bushes nearby, seeing what happened to her little brother. And the Pharaoh's daughter, the Princess Pharaoh,